Nur noch in der Bude Tag und Nacht. Nur noch in der Bude auf Verdacht. Hab ja nur die Bude, keine Yacht.
Hello and welcome to the East Village Cook. Today we're making glazed pork ribs with Gomaae, which is a Japanese way to make spinach with sesame seeds. So first of all, we have a little bit pancetta, and we cut this in little cubes. Then we need ginger. We're slicing some fresh ginger. The thinner you can slice that, the better that is. Then we have one long red pepper. Then we have some garlic. We're slicing the garlic in little slices as such. So make sure your pan is really well preheated. We season in the ribs. Make sure punch the salt in a little bit. We're using our Morton Kocher salt for that. And cracked pepper. So don't be stingy with the pepper. Depends on your personal taste, but I like it a little peppery. There we go. So we make sure the pan is really hot, and we're putting down a little bit of a corn oil. And we put the pancetta in there. So once the oil is real hot, we're putting our ribs down. And make sure we get a good color on those. Once we get a little color on one side, we're turning the ribs around, and now we're adding our spices. So we want some anise stars. They almost give like a little fennel flavor to it. Then we add some Szechuan pepper, which gives us sort of a citrusy flavor. Very nice. And we need some hot flakes. So then I put the fresh hot long peppers on top of this. The garlic. And the ginger slices. 2 bay leaves. 1 cinnamon stick. Black Cardamom for smoky flavor. Juniper Berries and 2 cloves. So we're making sure everything is caramelizing really well before we add the liquid. You want to make sure it's on really high heat. And you preheat your oven 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So then we add soya sauce. Don't be stingy with the soya sauce. It's a little salty flavor. One or 2 tablespoons of Sweet Mirin. Another tablespoon of Japanese sake. So you're layering different flavors, and that makes the success of the ribs. And then I get a little bit of Chinatown's mirin for tarty flavor. Now we want some honey. I put some honey on it. That makes the glaze. It looks nice. And then to balance it out, Japanese vinegar. So let's give that a little taste and see where we're at. Always taste your food so you know if you're on the right side. I want to add a little sugar. It's a little too, not spicy, but it's a little too tarty. So we add a little sugar. Brown sugar, that is. And then we add the stock. Like a cup. And bring that to a boil. We're putting that in the preheated oven for 30 minutes at 350 degrees. We're bringing a pot of water to a boil. Season the water, some kosher salt, and put the spinach in the boiling water for about 3 minutes. And we're also prepping and toasting some sesame seeds. Get the unpeeled sesame seeds because they're toasting nicer. Not about like 2-3 tablespoons. Low heat, not too much. Maybe number 2 is good. So we want to toast them slightly and slowly. So the spinach is looking already pretty good. We put it into ice water to bring the cooking to a stop. Make sure the spinach is completely submerged. So then I'll show you a little trick. We're using one of those Japanese maki tools. And in order to prevent the spinach from getting in between the little wooden pieces, we cover it with some clear foil. That makes it easier to clean and prevents the spinach from sticking in between the wooden little rods. So once the spinach is cooled down, we wring the water out and get rid of the excess liquid. There we go. And then just remove the plastic and your maki tool is clean. So when we get the sesame seeds, we grind them down a little bit. So we have a nice mix between the white and the brown sesame seeds. It gives a nice character. Don't grind it too much. I like my seeds half mushed and half whole, but that's up to you. It's up to personal taste. So the sesame seeds go in. You're using about 3 tablespoons of soya sauce, 1 tablespoon of sweet mirin, and 1.5 tablespoons of sake. Then we are slicing the spinach, small little slices like such, and that goes into the bowl. And mix it up. After 30 minutes, we check in the ribs. Put the heat on a little bit. Well, that looks pretty good. We have a nice brown texture. Everything looks really nice. Then we're turning the ribs. Well, this is how it's supposed to look like. And now at this point, we're adding scallions. And then slicing the spring onions in small, tiny pieces. And add that to the ribs. And put the ribs back in the oven for another 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, we're checking on the ribs. Voila, that looks really good. So we're finishing the ribs on the oven. We're reducing the sauce a little bit. So turn it a couple of times to make sure that the sauce is going everywhere. And then we're ready to plate. So this is our ribs. So we're taking some Gomaae. Asian glazed ribs with Gomaae. Good. Itadakimasu. Perfect.
Nur noch in der Bude Tag und Nacht. Nur noch in der Bude auf Verdacht. Hab ja nur die Bude, keine Yacht. Doch diese Bude, ja, die Bude ist ne gute Yacht.